On this trip around the county, we take an inside look at the lead in this year's fall musical and how certain students help take care of fuzzy friends. All this and more on this trip around the county.
Welcome to Around the County. I'm Quinn Matthews.
And I'm Max Arnold. On Around the County, we take you to places you may have never been and introduce you to people you may not know. Imagine walking into an audition for the first time, with the spotlight on you and everyone watching your every move. That's the feeling that one NHS senior experienced this fall. Producers Suvi Gupta and Chloe Bass take us behind the curtain and introduce us to the star of this year's musical.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. It's the Addams Family, and it's the fall musical at NHS. Jade Urey is a senior at Noblesville High School, and she's in her first play ever. After years of avoiding performing, she decided to go out with a bang in her last year in high school, and the bang was bigger than expected. Urey got one of the lead roles.
So I have a really big passion for performing. I am a show choir kid, so just being in front of big audience and crowds, it just really warms me, and just that's why I was it's my senior year, so let's go ahead and try and just do something big for your last year.
Being the lead in the musical comes with its own difficulties, but Urey has pushed through the problems. She cites one specific reason why she's been so successful.
It has been hard because obviously it's my first time, but the people around me, they've made it so easy for me just to fit in and just do the best I can, and the directors really believe in me, so that's what really pushed me.
One of those people is John Neubauer, the play's music director. He has been supporting Urey all throughout high school.
Well, we actually had encouraged her to audition for previous musicals, and she didn't, which I was kind of disappointed at the time. And then this year she finally said she was going to try out. I'm like, great! And she honestly rose to the top of the auditions, and here we are.
Another motivator Urey has is Aaliyah Williams, a junior at NHS and Neubauer's student assistant. Williams considers Urey to be like a sister, and she also sees great talent in her friend.
She's very outgoing, she's very sweet, and she's a beautiful singer.
When you're alone, you need to have a taste for death.
Urey's talent has paid off. In her first show ever, she's now one of the main roles, playing a character that has been an inspiration.
I play Morticia Addams. She is very powerful. When I first seen the movie, she just really spoke to me. I don't know why, because she's very odd. But she was very gorgeous and beautiful, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try for that.
Her delivery of everything is just very smooth and classy, so it's I don't think a lot of it was taught. She just is really smooth. When you see her performing, especially in this role, it's just she captured who Morticia Addams seems like to me.
Playing the role of Morticia has impacted Urey as a performer, but it's also changed her in other ways. She says she's become more confident on and off the stage.
Just do your best. That's honestly all you can do.
Teens spend a lot of time outside of school, relaxing and hanging out with friends, but two NHS students have different friends they'd rather spend their time with. Producers Becca Garber and Lily Farazi introduce us to a pair making a huge difference at the county's Humane Society.
They're the favorite part of households all over America, pets. These furry friends make a meaningful addition to homes and families of all kinds. However, a lot of animals don't have a loving home. For NHS seniors Ashley Ralph and Xander Marshall, Their mission is to provide care for these homeless pets at Hamilton County's Humane Society.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a socializer, I guess. That's kind of like the role, and you can also do like cattery assistance, which like you just kind of like help feed the cats and like clean their little cages and stuff like that. And I kind of just help them calm down all the time, and I don't know, I feel like they're a therapist at times.
And then I also do kennel assistance for the dogs, which is pretty much the same, just in the dog world.
And then there's like a bunch of like older people who like they've like retired, and then they make like catnip treats, and then they give it to us to give to them. And the kittens don't get any because they're a little bit too rowdy, but everybody else gets them, and they're
all
really
so sweet. And some of them, if you can tell from my hands, are playful and a little more harmful than they realize, but they're all so sweet, and none of them have ever meant to hurt me.
Ralph and Marshall both say volunteering doesn't have to be boring. In fact, they say it's a lot of fun. No matter how much time someone has or what their interests are, there's always a place to help at the Humane Society.
There are a few cats in one of the free roaming areas. One of them was actually named Xander as well. And they were super, super shy at first, but they were so nice, and I always loved seeing them. It was a little bit sad when I came in here one day and they weren't here, but I am happy that they are doing well now.
One sad observation the volunteers have noticed is the lack of attention that older animals get. Ralph encourages visitors to the Humane Society to consider adopting a senior pet looking for their final, forever home.
That you should pay more attention to the older animals, because there's a lot of older cats that come in. Like recently we had a 16-year-old cat that just got surrendered because they just weren't wanted, and everybody just walks past those cages. And even though the Humane Society of Hamilton County is a no-kill shelter, like some of them are in there for so long that they do pass away.
These animals have been here the longest. They have not seen as much love. They're older, they have been here for longer, they are lonely. They need love in the last, in the last part of their life.
If a kid gets adopted, you know that they're gonna get adopted. But if there's a cat over 12 years old, they can sit in the Humane Society for 6 months to a year. I mean, it's so long before they even get adopted. So it's just it's so happy. Everyone usually throws a little party, and then they all get so excited and start telling around that, oh my gosh, this cat got adopted.
The two seniors have had an up-close look at the pets looking for homes. They emphasize the importance of adopting from a shelter rather than a third-party seller.
They put cats into different areas at PetSmart and stuff like that, so a lot of times the cats actually are from the Humane Society, but really they just don't get the proper care that they need. They don't get fed as often or cleaned as often. Their cages are usually just dirty and really small, whereas in the Humane Society they have 2 rooms and their litter box room is separate.
Shopping for animals perpetuates a cycle of abusive breeding practices, whereas adoption will help reduce the number of strays and the number of neglected animals.
The animals at the Humane Society require a lot of help, feeding them, cleaning them, or even just giving them love. The humans who run the organization are always looking for volunteers, but the animals there will always be happy to make new friends.
It actually brings me a lot of joy. If I'm having a bad week, I'll just sign up for a shift at the Humane Society and I'll just volunteer, and I'll instantly just feel better just because it's so nice to do so much good.
That's all for this trip around the county. I'm Quinn Matthews.
And I'm Max Arnold. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time when we go
Around the county.